About monsters, how many British people need to be raped or murdered by people who came to the country illegally? What is that? What is the acceptable number? Oh no, genuinely, what is the acceptable number? Because in our...
I use that language on the ground in Afghanistan when people were shooting at us. You're using it about people who are looking for a better life. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Okay.
It feeds racism.
So number one,
that's not British values. You do not stand up for Britain.
The only person who's used the words.
This was a live immigration debate on Sky News last night. Reform's Zia Youssef was the star of the show. The Labour representative was a complete car crash. He was almost as bad as the guy who said all the boats are full of women and children on Question Time. Surely Labour has lost all credibility on immigration after this performance. Let's break down the highlights.
There's no either or here. We can secure the borders. We can, and we will, move people into MOD sites away from hotels, but we do that within our British values. And that's what we see from the likes of Reform, because they do use language such as fighting age males, which, by the way, I've served the country in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's the language we use against the Taliban when we're fighting the Taliban.
About fighting age males?
No, I'm saying you're raising
Tell me what the racist...
I'll answer your question.
What is racist about
What I'm saying is you're raising the dial, raising the temperature with that language. I use that language on the ground in Afghanistan when people were shooting at us. You're using it about people who are looking for a better life. It's absolutely disgraceful. It feeds racism.
So number one,
that's not British values. You do not stand up for Britain.
The only person who's used the word, the only person who has used the word invasion since this programme began was the introducer at the beginning.
I didn't say invasion.
And then the lady in the audience
I didn't say invasion.
I'm using the word invasion because over the last 8.5 years, more people have turned up on the beaches illegally, uninvited. The majority of them men, the majority of them fighting age men that hate this country, including countries like Afghanistan, Syria. And by the way, that is more people. That is more people, Mike. That is more people than stormed the beaches.
But you will do nothing for this country.
That is more people than stormed the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. And you are advocating, as the immigration minister for this country, to leave our borders undefended, leave them open in the name of, quote, British values. What you're doing is betraying the British people.
Kieran, what's your response to Carl?
He contradicted himself all night. How can anyone listen to that and honestly believe Labour will ever stop the boats? I'd respect him more if he just admitted he believes no human is illegal. You can clearly see the party line is to talk tough on immigration, but for many of the Labour MPs, it goes against everything they stand for. We have record numbers of illegal immigrants coming here, and it's causing national outrage. And yet, all he was bothered about was the language used by Youssef. When he calls Youssef a plastic patriot, what he really means is, to be patriotic, you have to believe in open borders and taking the world in and putting them before the British people. It's a warped idea of patriotism and British values. Zia again was brilliant here.
There's been a lot of conversations about the rights of lots of citizens of foreign countries. What about the rights of British citizens? One of the most extraordinary things of my lifetime in politics was lawyers for the government, for the Home Office, around that hotel in Epping, said on the record in court that the, quote, the rights of the asylum seekers take precedence over the rights of local residents. British people are being treated like second-class citizens in their own country, and it's got to stop. I think people's fears right now are well-founded. Let's talk about, the gentleman used the word monsters. 4 Iranian men crossed the English Channel illegally by boat, and our brilliant security services successfully foiled a terrorist attack. Foiled a terrorist attack that was being perpetrated by 4 Iranian men. And with respect, when we talk about monsters, how many British people need to be raped or murdered by people who came to the country illegally? What is that? What is the acceptable number? Oh no, genuinely, what is the acceptable number? Because in our view, the acceptable number is 0. Because every single one of those tragedies is directly downstream from appalling government policy, from people like the Tories and the current government who are unwilling and unable to defend and secure our borders.
You made that point forward. Mike Tapp.
One rape, one sexual assault is too many. But the majority of those that come over are not rapists and sexual assaulters. But it's important Well, of course they're not. It's
you don't know
important.
Mike,
that.
answer
You
my
have no
question.
idea.
How many
You
is
don't
it?
know
I'm not
that.
answering your questions
You
here. I'm
don't know
answering
that,
the
Mike.
audience
You actually
questions.
don't
You know
know that.
nothing
It's
about
important
these
that we
people.
secure
You're
the
choosing to let
borders.
people into the country about whom
It's
you know
important
nothing.
that we secure the borders.
The Liberal Democrat woman was a complete disgrace. She moaned and complained all night every time Yusuf spoke, even asking the host to shut him up at one point. She's just another Liberal who wants to portray all illegal immigrants as angels sent from God while actively covering up any horrific crimes some of them may commit. So much as try and even talk about those crimes and you will be condemned as racist. People like her are the reason the grooming gangs were covered up. Labour has already admitted they believe the rights of illegal immigrants come before the concerns of the locals. They believe they are all doctors and engineers who just want to contribute to society. It was rightly pointed out he cannot say that because we have no idea who these people are. The fact is, if illegal immigration is of massive importance to you, then you simply cannot vote Labour again.